What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. I want to show a video that one of my boys, peace out to my brother, O'Shea Duke Jackson, did a conversation on this piece. And I had told you all that I would come at you and also do a piece here of can you be Pan African, activist, advocate for brothers and sisters, and be married to another race. Now, let me put a disclaimer out here. I am not here to rain on anybody's parade. I'm not here to push any prejudice or biases on any interracial relationship. But what I want to do is talk about how we think that everybody, because of skin color, and they are in the public eye, that they have a obligation or are in a position to be Pan-African, even though they talk black or talk for advocating for black or advocating for the advancement for black folks, and yet they're married to people. How do we size them up and think that they are in this so-called position? Let me run O'Shea Duke Jackson's video real quick because I thought it was interesting that here he had an interesting quick point. I'm just going to run it real quick. Hope that we'll be able to hear it, but let's get into it real quickly. Let's check it out.
Marriage is the basis of any community, and it's passed down through that. I'm from a community that doesn't get married, and I can tell you it's terrible. You can never have a successful community without marriage. The acceptance of other groups into Africa has not benefited Africans in the way that it should have themselves. What has interracial marriage and relationships done for Africa? Zero.
All right. Let me kill this right here. We're going to extend it to America. I shared with on my other video that I was going to do this video because I've been having conversations with several people brothers who are married to white women. Like I said, to each his own who you marry. I mean, you love somebody. But what gets me, family, is when these people, they talk about white men. They talk about the white system, but they got the white woman on their arm. I can't understand how you can be for a people screaming foul from a system or a country that's in place against your own, and then you can prance around and escort the very one whose daddy, whose family have done horrific things across the globe. Now, I must say this right here. I believe there is self-hate in that. I believe there is a desire to be accepted when you are in a Western world that you are looked down upon constantly as being nothing. And when you go to the extent of going to college, you're not accepted and you're looked down upon, and you're trying to make way in your career and you're not really appreciated and you're overlooked, but you are fighting to be accepted. And as soon as Sally, Jane, or Sue blinks an eye at you, it seems that these men or women fall in love with being accepted. That you reached a place that you think that you have achieved, and that makes you something. This is what I see, and this is my so-called opinion on the matter. I like how O'Shea said is that interracial relationships haven't done anything for Black people in America. Matter of fact, when we look at the NAACP, and we see that it was created by white people, two white men who created the NAACP. It was not for Black people. this so-called advocate for colored people was for immigrants. And it was never for black people. Now, it was released over to the black people when the so-called advancements of black people were being recognized in their own communities, and everything shifted to be white and black, where many got jealous and burned down cities because black people were advancing and black people were doing great until integration happened. But how is it, brothers and sisters, that we have, as you saw in my thumbnail, you gotta have somebody of a different race on your arm in order to be put into positions that would be considered high class? Now, when we talk about the two Supreme Court justices, Ketanji Brown and Clarence Thomas, both whose spouses are white. When we, talk about Barack Obama, whose mom was white. When we talk about Kamala Harris, whose dad is, I think, Indian or something like that, we are not accepted as being full-blooded blacks, if you will. And I know that society is very intimidated to see a strong brother and sister who they know that they would fear if you were put in any of those positions to give somebody a hand up, to assist or advocate for more achievement for a people. But in these positions, you got to be American and for a people. You can't be, so they say, for your own. But we know already through history, it's always been ran by them, for them. And yet they send the message that in order to get these certain positions out here, you gotta have another race on your arm. Now, you saw on my thumbnail when you see people like Maya Angelou, who was married to a white guy. And she took claim for being an activist, walked in the civil rights movement, and her face was there. And I'm going to say, I'm not going to take anything away from her accomplishments, but Maya Angelou was an entertainer. She was an artist. And when we see people in the arts field, in the entertainment field, white people love entertainers and they will accept them all day long. They will pay you way more than what our people get paid for doing 9-to-5s or starting business and companies. Those are the ones who have all the wealth. Those in the entertainment industries, in the arts industries. And though that her face or those entertainers are always put in the forefront, they welcome them into countries, give them the front seats, give them the red carpets, and they do nothing for a people. Oh, they can stand up and they can speak about, injustices, and they can talk about the horrific acts of maybe what the Europeans have done. But it means nothing when you take away the sting of it because your spouse happens to be the other race. You see, it don't hit home when you have stayed in the trenches and you fought to get out of a hole of racism and carrying another brother or sister with you on your arm and can stand tall and say, we stand for people and we will be pillars. We will be voices in the community to help this situation that we're in. Now, we've had people who like Maya Angelou, and we've had the Baldwins, and we've had the Frederick Douglasses, and these people, even Sammy Davis Jr. and, the Sidney Poitiers and all these people who are actors and musicians, and Frederick Douglass wound up marrying a white woman. And, it blows my mind and trying to figure out, how can you say you are for a people, but your heart and your eyes are looking at their women across the border? How can you look at your own people who you claim you love so dearly, and yet your heart, because scripture says, whatsoever comes out of your mouth is what's in your heart. Whatever your eyes look upon or you put your time in is where your heart is. I was talking to a man. I may mention this in another video. Many of y'all probably did not see it, but brother from the African country, Malawi, who married a white woman. His business. I ain't got nothing against the man. Got nothing against his wife. But when I was introduced to him, I sat down and he was sharing the history and the struggles of the people of Malawi when they were colonized, because he came through it before they even had their independence. He's 71 years old. He talked with a disdain and a disgust for the white colonizer. And I said to the brother, hold up. I hate to interrupt you, but how is it that you talk with a disdain, a disgust, borderline hate for the white colonizer, and your wife is white? That's what I said to him. And, they give you these stories of how, they met the person, and their person, they were, different. Their hearts were open. I fell in love. And, that's, you do your thing, but don't dare sit here and tell me about your people in a struggle, while you left your country, pranced over to a European country, and found your love over there. But I thought your heart, your spirit, your mind, you're advocating, being an activist for your people does not make sense to me. What do y'all think? I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines here. This is not about hating anybody. This is about, can you be a Pan-African or activist or advocate for Black people, and you be married to a white person or any other race? Because to me, you can't serve two masters. You can't be on both sides. How can you on one side scream the foulness, the evilness, the devilment, the wickedness, the shamefulness, the deplorable acts of a people that have done our people so wrong that your eyes can turn, overlook those things you just said, and fall in love with their daughters? Let me go ahead and put the link in. Let me go ahead and copy. Those can call in. I haven't done a live like that, calling in, for a long while. Be interesting to be back to talk to some of you all, hear what you all have to say. The link is in the chat, family. The link is in the chat. Call in. Let's talk about it, And even those out there, don't even be offended, because I'm not trying to offend anybody. Look, I have white people in my family. I ain't got nothing against. My nephews are white. My grandmama's side has white people. So I'm not saying this as a means of trying to disturb your livelihood or your order, but I do have an issue. And I've watched these people who sit here and point fingers at the white system, the white man, while having the white woman on their arm. I gave the example that, there's a gazelle in the African safari. right? And the gazelle, this little gazelle, this male gazelle, winds up looking at the lion and happens to have a heart for one of the little lioness. Now, he in his own way decides to bring the little lioness to introduce to his mom and his dad. And his parents basically looked at him and said, "What are you doing? Why would you bring a predator into our camp?" And the young gazelle says, "Mom, Dad, she's different. She loves me and I love her. She can't do us no harm." And the parents said, "You get this lion out of here. It is a lion. It comes from a total different background. This lion cannot know how we do things because then she will wind up disclosing how we do in our survival. We can't mix with them." Why? Because they have a total different background, a total different culture, a total different thinking, a total different mentality. They have a total different way. You know, one thing that I've noticed about some people who have interracial relations, especially the brothers, they are beta males. Now, I didn't say all, but I noticed that it's amazing. I was talking to this one brother and how he talks about sisters, but then can let the white woman he's with totally just, rule over him. It's almost a slave mentality that you will comply to one that is your colonizer and yet give all the hell to a sister for speaking or saying something. It blows my mind. Let me go ahead and bring in some of these guests up in here. Oh, let me say this right here. You have to show your face on this because I don't talk to robots, bots, and AIs and all that. So you have to show your face. You have to show your face because I'm not going to deal with those who come in and just hide behind silhouettes and then want to say whatever and not be man or woman enough like I am and speak my mind. Do y'all not know that everywhere I go, people come up to me, "Man, you the God, man, the African, this and that." I'm exposed. And I've had some come at me and say they didn't like what I said and all that right there. I've had death threats. I have had, people who want to do harm to, me, my family, all because they didn't like something I said. I don't fear no man. And I expect men and women to come on here. If you fear being seen because you can't say, I understand there are those people out there that are trying to keep the jobs. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But we have to get to a place to stop freaking running. Either that, how do they say it? What is it? How they say that to speak your mind, speak now or forever hold your peace. Some people just gonna have to hold their peace and just, write in the chats, whatever. So I'm gonna bring y'all forward up here. Peace and blessings to you all coming in right now. Hey, I'm glad to have y'all. How are you doing? I'm gonna go with you first. What's that? Kumosabi. Oh, Kimosabi. What's up, brother? It is on you. I think you froze up now.
Yo, what's good?
Let's go to you, Rock. What's up with you, man?
Peace, beloved. How you feeling? How you feeling?
I am feeling well. How are you?
Good to talk to you, brother.
Yeah. What do you think about this subject right here, man? Can a brother or sister be Pan-African, an activist or advocate, and be married to another race?
Yeah, it's crazy. Dudes marry strange women all the time. I question why dudes would want to marry a stripper. You know what I mean? Some dudes will marry a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just some dudes. You know, the chick could be out in the street, you know, selling herself, and a dude to marry her. Like I don't know why somebody would marry Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's specific to white women or outside a race that's questionable. I think dudes marry females that's questionable all the time. I'm wondering why this dude Will Smith is still with Jada Pinkett. You know
I
what I mean?
understand, bro. I feel you, brother, but I want to keep it specific to this Pan-African. You know, can you be Pan-African, pro-black, pro for the people, and be married to another race?
Hey, I don't think so, right? But
Mm-hmm.
let me say this. A OG told me this a long time ago. He said, black people are never gonna get where they want to be in life because we want to live in the times we trying to improve. You're not gonna talk them white people out of doing what they do. You know what I'm trying to say? Like everybody want to try to talk them out of it, and I don't think that's the way. You know, all of those activists, they talk, but they don't do nothing. You know what I mean? And Europeans didn't get this country by talking England out of bothering the United States. They didn't talk about that. You George Bush didn't send Al Sharpton over to Iran or Iraq when they bombed the World Trade Center, because that talking don't work. You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't really respect activists like that anyway, because they do too much talking.
That's how they took away your ability to.
That's all they're gonna do is talk. So I don't rely on them to do anything for us, really.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. I appreciate you,
You know what
man.
I'm talking about? Yeah.
Peace and blessings to you, brother. Hey, I thank you for coming in, man. I'm gonna pass the mic over, man, to Kimo Sabi.
Thank you, brother.
All righty, man. What's up with you, Kimo Sabi?
Yeah. Sorry about.
I think you having some problems, man, with your I think he's having some problems with his connection and all that right there. The link, let me put the link back in the chat. I'll put the link back in the chat. But what do you think? I mean, you know, I want to keep the subject to the matter at hand, and that is right here is that, you know, I don't expect anybody to be my savior out here as far as, you know, being that one person voice. But I do know that you know, it's interesting here in America that we have, let me run some of this off to you all right here. In America, all the other race of people have activist parties or groups. Let me run some of these down here that you may not know of. You know, you have, let me run some of these down right here. Now, they want to make it seem like we have a voice or representations from the NAACP. Now, we know the NAACP was nothing more than a program that was pimped. It started off with the Europeans, and it was really the focus of immigrants who were coming in, because we know America's, you know, they all came from Europe and everything like that. But this was all about it says colored people. Do you not know that the Greeks call themselves colored? Spaniards call themselves colored with color, you know, whether Portuguese, you know, they got that green tint or whatever. They would consider themselves to be a color of a people. But when it was passed on from the NAACP, from them on over to our people, the civil rights movement was nothing more than what's the word I want to say, that it was used to advance other people's agendas. There were many other initiatives out there who were piggybacking off of civil rights, because civil rights is not about black people. I hope y'all understand that. Civil rights have nothing to do with black people. Anybody can have civil rights. But for your knowledge here, you got the Asian Americans, right? They have the Asian American Advancing Justice, the Asian Pacific American Advocates. They have the National Council of the Asian Pacific Americans, and this works towards addressing issues affecting their issues in America. You have the Hispanic Latinos, who have the National Council of La Raza. You have the League of United Latin American Citizens. You have which aims to address their needs here in America. You have the Native Americans, which they have the Native American Rights Fund. They have the American Indian Movement. You have the Jewish Americans who have the American Jewish Committee, the Anti-Defamation League, the Jewish Council for Public Affairs. You have the Arab Americans who have the Arab American Institute, American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, and the Council on American Islam Relations. And it goes on. The natives, Hawaiians, the Pacific Islanders, the LGBTQs, you have the Chinese, you have the Irish, you have all of these groups, but we're talking about, who is, if we said what group is really there that has made tremendous change for our people, we're going to say NAACP, the Rainbow Coalition. What are we going to say? But what we have is these people out here who claim that they are part of the Black community. And can one be considered the activist, an advocate, Pan-Africanist, if they have another race on that shoulder? Let me bring in our next guest over here.
Hey, brother.
Hey, brother, what's up? Peace and blessings to you.
How's it going, man?
Good. What's your thoughts on it?
No, because when you're Pan-African, what you want to do is that you want to specifically unite Africans, but just us as Black people just across the world, we have been hurt. We have been hurt quite a bit. And we're still being hurt now. And since you're in Africa, I know you know what's going on in Sudan and what's going on in Congo and Senegal and Ghana, and we're still being hurt by those people. And we can't heal in the face of our oppressor. And then just if we're trying to unite our people, it's especially disrespectful. If I'm with a white woman and then I'm preaching like, hey, how we can heal and how we can become one, and then I got the person that looks like the person that oppressed us, the people that hurt me, my family, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our nieces, nephews, and then still to this day, especially like in the United States, like they still just taking us out like on right in the open. They're unaliving us. They're killing us right on TV, and nobody cares. And so you have white people which are if they were who they said they were, they would stand up and go, this is enough. You can't do this. You can't do this anymore. But because the system is based on white supremacy, they're the only ones who can change it. We can't change it when we're the people that are being oppressed by the system. So long story short, yeah, you cannot be with someone and then say that you're promoting Black people, African descendants, and at the same time you with the people that has been hurting us for 500-600 years.
Appreciate that, brother. Peace and blessings to
You're
you.
welcome,
Thank you for joining in this evening.
You're welcome.
All right, let's move the mic on over to Andrew. Andrew, brother, how you doing? Peace and blessings to you.
I'm leaving on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you. I can't see you. I said you got to show your face if you want to be on here, Eric. I don't listen. Where's Eric?
Oh, let me turn my light on real quick.
I see Eric. Okay. Somebody else.
I was laying in the bed. Can you see me now?
Yep. All right. What you got, brother? What do you think, man? Can you be Pan-African, an activist, an advocate, man, for Black people, the movement, the unification of a people as a whole, and you got another race on your arm? Can you?
Yes.
You say yes. Please explain.
Well, you got Harry Belafonte. He was a Black activist. He had a white wife. You had Sidney Poitier, Black activist. He had a white woman on his arm.
Okay. All right. Let me say this right here. All right. Name me one that is not in the entertainment industry. Or just name me somebody. Because most of these people I made mention, I don't know if you was at the beginning, is that these people appear to be, but the only reason why they're putting them up front as though that they are an activist is because they got strings attached to them from Hollywood. These people are entertainers.
Because they were in a position to they were in a position to talk because everybody knows them. But other than that, to find someone that isn't, it would be kind of difficult.
Well, I will say this right here. We know that there's a difference between being an advocate and an activist or a Pan-African, because we know unification is really Pan-African, right? Activists could be, hey, I just want to speak for the people, and showing that there is some injustice out here, but it's not about unification of people. They still might have the hearts for everybody.
I agree with that.
But how I'm saying though that, you mentioned Harry Belafonte, right? He was with Martin Luther King. I did some videos on him and speaking on behalf of Martin Luther King. And yet, these guys have the white women's on their arms. But my thing is that really, what's going on behind the scenes? Because, action speaks louder than words. You can get on the mic and talk about all this right here. But my thing is that, but you over here eating dinner over here with them, you're going playing tennis with them. So my thing is like, how do you make movement like that?
It came from I couldn't even answer that question. I guess that's just the way he was brought up or raised, or they, I should say, because he's not the only one.
He's not the only one.
No, well, you have some. Look at Robert De Niro. He's somewhat of an activist, and he's white, and he has nothing but black women.
Well, I don't hear these people. Look, here's the other thing behind that. I don't never hear their spouse stand up and speak. They're always in the shadows. I don't ever hear their white spouses speak and say, yeah, for the black people, we're here. There's injustice here. I have never heard any of their spouses speak out. None of them.
I haven't either.
I've been around for a long while, and I haven't seen any of them take the mic from their black spouse and say, let me tell this white world that they are totally wrong, and I'm standing with the black people. I haven't seen that. Now, of course, we saw it in the 60s, because we know that civil rights or Martin Luther King movement was nothing more than a forerunner for a lot of the other white agendas that they piggybacked off of the civil rights to get their agendas through the door to be signed, the bills to be signed. So, they're up on the mic talking about, power to the black man. And, you had the freedom fighters go down south and trying to get black people to vote and all that right there. I'm not going to take that from those type of people at all.
Right.
But we do know that white people will always use us to try to get our votes so they can get their people in office. They're always going to go ahead and try to, oh yeah, we're here to get the people the rights to vote. Why are you trying to get the people right to vote? Because they knew back, especially in the 60s, 70s, that there was a huge number of voters, non-registered voters, that they can use to get the people that they want to push in office. But was that really for the movement for black people? That wasn't the movement and the push for black people. That was for their own agenda.
Right, but do you think our vote will ever count then?
No, our vote will never count. Our vote will never count.
If you do the
numbers. There's 43 million black folks in America. There's 390 million people in America. 43 million does not. I don't even think it could sway a vote.
Really?
They say that our votes can sway votes. And my thing is, okay, to what extent can it sway? Yeah, the numbers do, you can count numbers, but even they say, what, 30% of the black population votes? Hell, they took 30%, another 30% away because people got felonies.
What about the Latino vote? What about the Latino vote?
I ain't worried about the Latinos. I got nothing to do with the Latinos.
Well, they have some of them. We have Afro Latinos also now.
I understand, but they got their own representation. They have their own folks who go and get them out there to vote and get them to be the voice for them and stuff like that. I have nothing for the Latinos. I ain't got nothing for them. Well, they got African descendants in them, but some of them don't even want to recognize or admit that. But anyway,
some do, some don't.
Yeah, some do, some don't. But I'm just saying that your take is some people can be a Pan-African activist and advocate having somebody on the arm. I appreciate your words, brother. Most definitely.
But you know what? You've been to Africa, right? I've been to a lot of countries in Africa too.
Yeah.
The way African people deal with white folks is not the same way how African Americans deal with white folks here in the States. In Africa, a lot of Africans kiss their ass. They kiss a lot of white people's ass over you, and you're the same skin color and everything.
You don't think we kiss white people's ass in America?
We have no choice, do we?
Does Africans?
I think it's their country.
It ain't their country.
It's not their country.
No, and when I say it's not their country, look, money rules everything. And when you know that tourist money is coming in, and you know that you trying to get some of that money, you're gonna bend over backward like you do here in America, 9-to-5 job. You go in, we don't curse out our boss. We don't go ahead and degrade and do all and act the fool like we act the fool amongst each other. You go to your jobs on your best behaviors because Massa got control over your life. He's the one who pay you money. So don't just say Africans over in Africa.
Well, what about Burkina Faso? They kicked the French out. Niger kicked the French out. Chad kicked the French out. The only ones left was probably Cameroon, Senegal, and Ivory Coast. So money doesn't always rule, then, does it?
Well, money does rule, and that's the thing. Is that the good thing is that these countries are waking up and realizing that they have been decapitated because of the assistance and the aid that these European countries was doing nothing but throwing them pennies on a dollar, using them, and
not even pennies.
So I don't want to go down to that subject because I want to stay on the subject matter at hand. I'm gonna bring Eric in, brother. Peace and blessing to you, Andrew.
Peace and blessing to you too. Go back to Africa.
All right, brother. Eric.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, good. What's up, man? I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. So, the question, can someone have a white spouse and be Pan-African or be there for the struggle? I say no. But I also do have a question for you, Brother Go Black. So let's say if there's a gentleman, goes ahead and, because we know how the system works, it desensitizes us or miseducates us or things like that. You got a brother that goes ahead and he marries himself a white girl. He's with the white girl. Let's say married, has kids and everything. And then one day, he goes, and whether it is information he learns about or he gets an awakening, like, oh my goodness gracious, I learned about all this, or it's really hit me, and listen and speaking, boom, I'm there for the struggle, but I have my white wife, I got my kids, my biracial kids.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that person can be for the struggle, even though, let's say, his mind is like, yep, I am for the struggle, but I don't feel right just going ahead and saying, I'm going to leave my wife. I'm going to leave, just leave her, just to go ahead and say, I'm there for the struggle.
Yeah, but let me give you, yes, but I say this right here. He shouldn't be in the forefront because the image does not sit well. I mean, it's no different than if I gave you the example of, okay, if how many people would really follow Jesus if Jesus was walking around, who had a past that was, he was a drunk and he was a whoremonger and he was all these things. And then all of a sudden he grew into his maturity. And then all of a sudden now he's preaching everybody, hey, you be saved, this and that. If many people knew that his past was like that, they would be like, the hell with him.
True.
Am I right?
I guess with Jesus and only Jesus will be able to pull that off, because there have been some strong activists who had a sketchy past, but only Jesus, I would
no.
apply that with
The
him.
reason why I say that is because the reason why I'm saying that is because I mean, for most people who are in the state of a faith,
Hmm.
and many people follow examples, and typically when as human beings, when you have tarnished backgrounds, most people are not going to follow you. So what I'm saying is, to answer your question, this guy has a wife and kids, and he has had an awakening, and now he wants to be a voice for the black people. I'm saying, yes, he can, but should he be in the forefront screaming about, oh, this and that? I think there should be, I think, when you look at resumes and you look at people's past and you take considerations of how effective would this person be, you
True,
know
true.
you know
And you know,
this is my thing, but this is my thing, that so it's not about me beating up the guy who's married to the white woman, not at all. Nuh-uh. I had nothing to do with them. I mean, when I say nothing, meaning I ain't got no beef with them. The beef I have is those who scream Pan-African, who are screaming the ill wills of white man society, the system, the colonizers, the devilments they do, and they're still in this about just demeaning the white people and all these things here. But your wife or your husband is white, and it's like it just doesn't make sense to me.
I can see that. I 100% can see that. And I also 100% agree. 100% agree. You cannot really say you're for the struggle if um you have a spouse who is white, you know. I've seen, just me personally, I've seen lots of people, and you probably have too, where they're like, yeah, you know what, there's racism in the world, this and that, and I see what's going on and everything, but I can tell that in their minds and in their hearts they're compromised. They can't fully speak exactly how they want to speak, only because, again, they have the white spouse, and and that's me. I think possibly 95 to 99% of people, of black people who are married to white spouses, just cannot be straight up Pan Africans, only because I know in order to do that, they would have to admit and acknowledge that their spouse is part of the problem. And if not their spouse, someone in their family is part of the problem. I mean, because even if you say, yeah, my spouse is good, there's no
I
way in
would
the world everyone in the family, you know.
I would expect them to be an advocate to world love. Everybody coming and just love each other because because you have gone over into other race, and you should be an advocate then for interracial relationships. But how can you stand on one side saying you're activist for these people over here, and you're saying that the system is against black people, and they're racist, and they're all of this right here, and we're going through the struggle and all that, but your spouse, and it's like, to me, you should be directing it towards more or less like, hey, let's integrate more. Let's integrate and bring together more, instead of standing for a group of people or being a voice for a group of people that,
Hmm.
because you're black, but then your spouse is another race. It just, I don't know. Somebody in the
So,
said, self-hate and something else, but yeah.
okay. So you don't even think, even in the background, they're like, you know what, I am 100% for my people and this and that. And just in the background, in the shadows, you don't even think they can go ahead and be an advocate, be an ally for Black people in the Black struggle?
Of course they can. There's many of them who have done it, but what I'm saying is that, how effective are they? And even if they are, America is very slick. They put these people up front. And to me, it just takes away the sting out of it. When you are screaming about this injustice and the wicked system, the white man's, where all this stuff right here, and yet when you have your spouse who is right next to you, to me, it's like it's hypocritical. To me, that's like hypocrite. You're saying one thing, but you're over here with the one that you're claiming that the system and who's running the system, because people, this is the other thing. People use words that they don't want to admit who's actually the people. People, even white people, they'll talk about liberals, or they'll talk about conservatives, or they'll talk about, they'll say, the government. They'll talk about like this is, let's put the faces on this. You know what I'm saying? A government is not a building, it's people. You know what I'm saying? Liberal is a person, conservatives are a person, but they don't say, oh yeah, they just, liberals destroyed this, conservatives destroyed this country. Okay, please hold up. Because when I look at who's the congressmen and the senators, they're 99% Caucasian, 1% or other. So when you talk about who's messed this country up, please explain to me who. Because let's be real with it. Who are you talking about? When you say the government, who are you talking about? When you talk about the system is against Black people. Who are you talking about? A system has a face. And yet the white people use just the words. And then even some of these so-called Pan-African use the words. They ain't going to sit back and say white people. They're not going to sit back and say the white system, white racists or whatever. They're going to sit and use those words to just calmly stay within the gray area and not offend anybody. And they'll just say, oh, the system is racist, systematic racism, and, the governmental racism, the policies, and all of these things. Who makes those? The educations, the bankings, the education, all these things. Okay, if you say that, who have created those? Not us. You know what I mean? We're not the ones who wrote, the 13th Amendment to say that, what, you can't have a slave basically, but if you commit a crime, you can treat them as such. That's a racist amendment. Why? Because they knew it was written. That 13th Amendment came in 1866, 67, I think. I can't remember. But right after slavery was ended, right? The Emancipation Proclamation. And do you know why they put that in there? Because they knew there would be Blacks traveling from the South to the North, and they would catch them on loitering. They would probably catch them on thievery, or they'd probably catch them over there trespassing, and they can put them in their butts to jail to work them fields over again. And that's why they created that amendment. That's systematic racism. Who wrote that? It wasn't us. Definitely wasn't us. So these people who wants to stand and be in the forefront and talk about injustices of society, the systematic racism, the governments, and they want to talk about these policies and the constitutions and all these things here. Who created those? How can you sit here and be in the forefront talking these things when you have your children who are biracial? I think it's best for you just to sit down and go ahead and talk about integration, fairness and equality, inclusion. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think they should be. You should be over here on this side here, but then you dragging with you so the side that you talk about you against. Anyway, brother Eric, I really appreciate, man, your talks, brother.
All right, absolutely.
Mr. John. All right.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night,
brother. All right, Mr. John, how we doing, brother?
How we doing, brother?
Good. What you got for the topic? Can you hear me?
I'm all right, my brother. How you doing?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. What you got?
I disagree with you, man.
Okay.
I do. I disagree with what you're saying, and let me tell you why I disagree with you.
Okay.
Back when I was homeless, it was white girls who stood by me. They didn't judge me. They didn't care that I was homeless. They didn't care that I was living on the streets. Actually, they felt sorry for me. It was black girls that wanted nothing to do with me. Now, the reason why I date white girls isn't because I think they're better looking than sisters. No way. I think black women are the most beautiful women on the face of the earth. On the outside. On the inside, they're a bunch of devils, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, hold on,
brother. You asked me, I'm telling you.
Well, hold up. Well, I know, but hold up. I'd rather for you to say some, in your opinion.
I can't. There's a problem with an overlay.
Okay.
I'm hearing everything.
Yeah, there's a delay. There's a delay.
Do you hear it? So see, it's just stopping now.
Call back in, brother. Just call back in. Let's see if you get a better connection.
No, every time I did it, what happens is that when we're talking, say whatever you say, it's overlaying that, and even when they're thinking what's going on here, see.
I think if you can hear me, John, you're gonna have to, man, probably just call back in or something because yeah, there might be a delay or whatever, but yeah, it's gonna be a little headache or whatever, you know.
Okay, wait.
What's up, my brother? Peace and blessings to you.
Is that me on?
I think you got delayed too. I'm out. I don't know. Let me do something here. I don't know if it's me. I know because I see some people up there. Their connection's better, and I'm on the Wi-Fi. Can you hear me all right?
Can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I know there's a delay with yours too. Where are you calling from?
Wait. Yeah. Okay.
You know, yeah, you're gonna have to call back too, brother. Let me go ahead and do some. If I do that, then it's gonna. Can everybody hear me? Push one if you can hear me. Okay, if my video is not lagging, slagging, or whatever, please push one for me. But you know, I mean, back to my brother who came in here. You know, I can't let a brother. I can't let somebody come and just say, you know, black women are no good. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. My wife is black. My daughters are black. I mean, and we got beautiful black sisters out here, you know. But and I understand that he said white women was one who got him off the street. And, you know, that goes back to what I was saying is that sometimes, you know, we think that, you know, okay, somebody did a great love act for you. Does it still take away from the fact of, are you going to be a voice for people? He won't be a voice for people because his allegiance is to the white woman who saved him. And yes, we got black people like that. We got black people like that. That's like, oh, he gave me a chance. And so, you know, I'm not saying that. I got white associates that are cool as a fan. What I'm not, this ain't about prejudice. This ain't about batting any race down. The topic of the matter, because I know some people want to put out their own feelings into this, is the fact that being the voice for people or Pan-African, because like I said, it frustrates me when somebody can dog and say the white man ain't no good, the white system, this and that, blase this, but then your wife or husband is white. That does not make sense to me. Matter of fact, you're embarrassing yourself when you do such a thing, I think, in my opinion. And that's what I can't understand. Don P, man, you're gonna have to show your face, man, because everybody else, man, I had to make them do that. All right, I know you know that right there, brother. But you know, to keep everything on the up and up, man, you're gonna have to show your face, brother. And so, you know, and I think we need to make sure we don't generalize, because I mean, I'm not gonna have nobody on my platform dog our people out. And I know there are people who have allegiance to other people, whoever was the one that saved them, if you will, you know. What is it? What's his name? The singer, Charlie Wilson. Many of y'all love him, Charlie Wilson. You know, he talked about when he was in his lowest point of life, drug addict, and his wife, who happens to be Caucasian, saved him. I'm not going to beat him up on that, who he marries. I don't even care. But daggone, if he starts coming out of his mouth talking about, oh, the white man and the white system and all that right there, man, and, you know, holding brothers back and all that right there, and the colonizers and all that right there, and your wife or your husband is the very person that you're degrading, that is, to me, a mental issue you have. I mean, I got to call it like it is, you know, to me, in my opinion. That's something, you know. And, you know, I was talking to a brother, and, you know, and he only dealt with white women, but he admitted the fact that his mama was a cause of him hating sisters. She was an abusive woman. And he wanted nothing to do with sisters. And it was a trigger. Anytime he tried to date sisters, and whether the conversation, they go in an argument, whatever, it was triggers that reminded him of his abusive mother. And I know there are brothers out here who have gravitated towards other race of people because of the fact of being accepted. Let me bring Don in. Don P, what's up, brother?
Hey, brother, globalize.
What's good?
On the topic, I just don't see it possible.
You can't see it impossible.
I don't see it.
Man, you got to turn your camera on, man.
James, man, what these people do, no, it's in my book. It's not possible. The two don't equate.
Yeah, you got to turn your camera on, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did it go off?
Yeah.
My bad, because I had it on when I first came.
Yeah.
But at any rate, you can't do it. You can't. I mean, it's just it. There's a struggle, an internal struggle. We used to have these family Zoom meetings during the time of the lockdown, just for us to connect. And I was hot one day, and came in and I started talking about the white man this, the white man that, the white man the other thing, and my brother gets heated. Or my wife is white. I'm like, man, that's your problem, dude. So, no, you can't. You can't go out here with this pro-black banner and have a Becky on your arm. It sends two different messages. Yeah, I'm about my people and I hate the white man and this, that, and the other. But you got his woman on your arm. Tell me how that makes sense. See, and for you brothers that really think it doesn't matter, it matters. It matters because of the history. I mean, check that out. You know, that'll tell you a whole lot, and maybe change your mind on why you shouldn't be. She was worse than her man. Who do you think raises these people out here that we do stories on? Who do you think raises them? We see the teachers in the classroom. You don't think that they're their mothers? Come on, man. Our people, like that movie, Sleeping with the Enemy, learn some valuable lessons. And if you haven't watched Get Out, if you're with one of them, watch it 3 times so you don't miss anything. And I'll mute my mic from there.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Hey, man, good seeing you, man. You still out there in Cali, man? Peace and blessings to you. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm still in Cali. We're trying to get our airline tickets together and everything. Vetting some property with our solicitor so that we can get out of here, because it is not looking good here, man. It is not looking good. I got my browser open on the computer looking at probably.
All right, brother. Good,
All right,
good,
my
good.
brother.
Good to see you. I know I haven't seen you in a while, man.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, brother. Yeah, okay, let's see if we can get our brother back here. Yashaya,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I can't even believe I'm on the channel. That's crazy. But you can call me Isaiah. That's my birth name, Isaiah. People call me Zay, but yeah, obviously you can tell this is my wife, Naomi.
Okay.
I don't think that you can be Pan-Africanist and be with a white woman. I think it causes too much confusion in our community, because now we got people that want to claim to be black and we don't even know what they are anymore. There's so many different types of people that they're kind of like infiltrators, I feel like. But I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that, about like, what does it really even mean to be black at this point? Like, if you're 50%, are you black? If you're 20% black, are you still black? Like, at what point are you black and at what point are you not black? I just feel like it causes a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I have to say.
And I'm with you on that, because I mean, it's in one breath you're saying I love her or him, and in the other you're saying I despise them.
Yeah.
And despise the history, the system, the governments, the everything, and yet, so it's a twisted, to me, it's just a twisted or double tongue, if you will, in speaking in such ways where you can say you have, you're saying you have allegiance on this side, but then on this other side, you have allegiance to another side. And to me, I like those saying, like, you can't serve two masters. You either gonna stand for one side or not, but there again, like one of the brothers earlier said, was that, hey, there's no problem with if you have an interracial relationship or a marriage, that doesn't bother me at all. It's just the hypocritical verbiage and the garbage ones talking out of their mouth when they start, speaking one thing, but they're doing another thing. It's just twisted. Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yep. Well, man, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Hey, peace and blessings to you all.
Yep, blessings to you too. Thank you.
All right, brother. Yeah, I lost my other sister that was here. I know everybody got their own opinions, but I want to say this again because other people came in, and this is not about prejudice or throwing mud on any race of people at all. I don't have any problem with any other race. It's, everybody's going to do what they're going to do. We all got mixed in us by some form or fashion, what have you. But we're talking about, when I'm talking about, I've said this before too, when you look at the melanin of the skin tells you, who you are, or the region you come from, or, where you stem from. I mean, that's easy to see, but because we do know not everybody who has this all think alike. Not everybody's for you, and there'll be many against you. So it ain't about this standing together. It's about when we talk about Pan-Africans, it's about a unification, and that's being of a like mind and a like spirit, so that you can build a people up, that your energy and your time is going into a community. And yet, if you are over here and yet over here, to me, it's like, that's twisted, in my opinion. Let me bring my sister in. Peace and blessings, sisters.
How you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. I came on because I just wanted to say this. I think it has a lot to do. I'm 60. I think it has a lot to do with the
You
bloodline.
got something, one second, sister. You got something on that you can have to turn down.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute, my television, mate.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear that TV.
Okay, let me. Let me shut the TV down. Uh-oh, you got made me run around the yard. Hold on. Okay, let me. How's that?
Oh, perfect.
Uh-oh. Didn't cut us off.
Yeah, you on? I hear. I see. Okay, now you done froze. So you should have to call back in. Mandela, you're gonna have to go ahead and put your face on. Come from out the silhouette. Everybody got to show their face. I don't know if you saw that or not earlier. If you want to come on to the program, you have to show your face because we got too many of these bots out here and things that these people are doing. And this is adult conversation, so you know, totally up to you. I'll go ahead and put the link in here the last time for those who wants to join in. I'm putting the link in the chat so that you all can join into the conversation. There again, people, like I said, a disclaimer for those who's coming in and all that, you know, to each his own. It just frustrates me. As just here recently, I've had some serious conversations with some brothers who have European wives, and yet claiming to be so Pan-African, you know, an activist for people, and yet will degrade the white system, will degrade the government, will degrade the policies and the laws, and yet their spouse is the very one they're talking about. I like how what's the name said, you know, that, you know, my dad told me this years ago, and he said, you know, one thing that is more detrimental than a white man is the white woman, because black men have died by the thousands by false allegations, and many of those who were out here back in the days, in the, you know, those 40s, 30s, and 20s were intentionally starting these riots and starting these wars, basically. You know, when you say Black Wall Street, when you say Rosewood, look those up and see, why did they start? It all came from lies and false allegations against a brother, and yet, you know, turned cities to rubble. And that's a travesty. And yet, you know, it just doesn't make sense when the person says the white man, yet, you know, like there's a dividing line between him, his mom, his sister, or his sister, his auntie. It just doesn't make sense. What's up, brother? Peace and blessings to you.
Good morning, brother. It's
Good
about
evening.
4 a.m.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Botswana.
Botswana. All righty. Oh, yes. Been to Botswana. Yep. Enjoyed it. Y'all got some good cooking down there in Botswana, man.
To catch you when you were here, but I was busy with something else.
Say that one more time.
I said I had hoped that I would catch you when you were here in Botswana.
Yeah.
But the time you were here, I was way busy with something else.
Oh, okay, okay. So, you from Botswana?
Yep.
Okay,
I'm
let's hear
from living in Botswana.
Oh, you from Zimbabwe? Okay, I'm ready to hear your take on this one. I'm ready for you. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I think the main thing is we've been beat down too much. First of all, you can be a Pan-Africanist and be married white. And the reason is, like everybody's been saying, it sends confusing messages. And two, it says to me, you really don't understand what's happening in this world. We Black people are very individualistic, if that's a word. And all these other other races, they work in groups. They never work alone. They always have an agenda. When you see one, you have seen all of them. But we tend to want to always find the good ones. We all know what's going on. They're shooting us on the streets. Here in Africa, we're begging from them, you know. Everything is ours, all the diamonds, the gold, and everything is ours, but we're giving it to them and we're begging for scraps. We all know who they are and how they act, but it's a condition in us to always look for that one good one and always believe that, okay, if I have been messed up by this particular white person, it doesn't mean that all white people are bad. It's that particular white person who is bad. And I would want to deal with the other white people, and they would keep messing me up, and I would keep checking my list. Okay, that one also is not good. Okay, that one is also not good. But we keep looking for the good in them. And unfortunately, we never find it. And whenever they are good to us, there's always something in it. And these people, they are playing a whole different chase game. They can have their girls come marry us. They can have their girls take us off the street so that we could be that one voice advocating for them. Because they know that we are always looking for the good. When one brother stands up and says, white women are the best, they know that they got 100. And for them, that's a good win. That's a big win. They can sacrifice that white girl for that. So I am not saying that everybody that is white is consciously acting that way. I am not saying that if they get together and make meetings and say, let's, how do we get the black man? No. But it is a collective action that if you pay attention to, there's always something behind it. They never relate with us purely out of human love or purely out of genuine actions. You know, there's always something behind. Now, I think we always fall for it because we've been beat down so much. We've been told we are nothing. If you go religiously, we've been told we are a product of a curse. And we want to align ourselves with the better people, the righteous ones, the ones that didn't look upon the nakedness of their father, that have God's favor. So we want to align ourselves with those people, and we want to disassociate ourselves with our own because we believe our own is less than good, you know? So if you, as a black person, are accepted in the white community, you feel like it's a kind of an elevation, you know? So I'm the better black. I'm with the better people because you do believe internally that you and your people are less than the other races, you know? So I think you cannot be Pan-Africanist and understand what's happening in the world and still marry, let me just not even say white, marry just out of the black race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. I really appreciate your info. Peace and blessing to you. I'm gonna try to go ahead and get on to our next panel here. Kay and Mandela, you are gonna have to show your picture, your face on here. You're just gonna have to show your face on here so we can bring you in too. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Let's go to this next guest here. Let's go to Tyrone McClain.
Hey, man, how are you, brother? Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Let's go to. I hear you gotta turn off one of your
Hey,
your
man,
audio.
thank you.
You got your TV or something on, I'm hearing feedback.
Do you hear me without any issues?
I hear myself back there's an echo. You have to turn off one of your
Let me see. I may disconnect unintentionally, but I'm gonna try to see can I cut it.
I wanted to hear what he had to say. You know, I wanted to hear it. And I think I've only had two people that was been on this channel here that was willing to show their face. But you know, yes, Kay and Mandela, if y'all wanting to come on, okay. All right, I think I see Kay.
Yeah. Hey, go back.
Peace and blessings, sister. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Peace and blessings to you.
Yes.
Peace and blessings to you. So, I'm gonna say this. No, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Can never. You can never. There can never be a milk and a chocolate mixing together.
Mm-hmm.
Just cannot produce another chocolate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The chocolate can probably produce another milk, but you can never produce another chocolate. Okay.
So,
It's
so,
not
so, as far as the
possible.
topic is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying that you cannot be Pan African.
You cannot.
Uh-huh.
You cannot be Pan African
Mm-hmm.
and say that you want to marry outside of that beautiful black color. You cannot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stop here because I want to hear what Mr. Tyrone has to say too. So I'm going to stop right here and let him speak. Okay, Mr. Tyrone? And then I will come back on. Is that okay?
No, continue, girl, look, sister,
Or
because
you want me to
I'm gonna go
continue?
down the road. Yeah, go ahead
Oh,
I mean, go ahead and elaborate. Go ahead.
okay. So what I'm saying is, we our people seem to forget history a lot. I mean, if you know what your mother did for you to be here, we are the surviving people. Do you understand? Even if you look at the biblical text, the Most High said He left some people for a reason, and then He has some scattered all abroad. The ones that are scattered are most African Americans, some Indians, some Brazilians. Okay, He purposely did that for us to learn. He didn't do that for us to say we want to mix in with them. He did that for us to learn. Okay. And then you're going to say you're going to mix with the same people that not only terrorize you, that not only diminished you, that dismantle you, that turn you into what you are not to the bare minimum. And then you want to mix yourself with that. And you call yourself pro-black. And you want your seed to be procreated by the same womb that would never love you. And I'm saying this from experience with being around these people. I'm saying from experience, the fact that I work with them, I lived with them. I mean, when I was in school, and even I was the same way. Because mind you, I'm African. Okay, I'm African, and I was like, I'm full on blown African, raised in Africa. I was one of those people that was born to and raised to love white people. Okay, I was born to love them. I'm gonna say it out there. I was born to love them, but I cannot, because when I had experience with them, the Most High has a way of showing us. When I had experience with them, okay, that was when in my lifetime I'm like, oh my goodness, this is not my friend. This is my enemy. No matter how much I want to love you, no matter how much I want to accept you, no matter how much I'm like, okay, they are good people, they are Christians, they are Muslims, whatever not. I keep saying this side that I'm like, okay, this is the Most High speaking to me. This is Most High showing me whom they are, no matter how much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the fact that our
Are you in America? Are you in America?
yeah,
Okay.
I live in America.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in my country, brought to America, so you can tell. Brought to America, family. You know, Africans are like, mix with the white people, be friends with them. They are your friends, and I'm like, okay, no problem. You mix with them because Africans want to feel better than themselves. We have a lot of issues with ourselves being Africans, okay? And me mixing with them, me being around them, going to school with them. I was one of the only black girls in school. So the black girl in the black classroom, the African girl. So that really is something I came out with. I'm like, wait, no offense to any of you. I'm sure none of you are the same way. You see, I'm sure none of you are. I'm sure some of you are not the same. But from my experience, my vision, and certain things I've learned in history, because that's how I learned our true history, because they didn't teach us in our land. Okay, they never really taught us our history in our land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Let me tell you something about Nigerians. There's a place that we called, of course you will know this, the place of no return that most people are probably be in Ghana. There's the same place in Nigeria. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure if there's some Africans or some Nigerians here, they know where I'm talking about. If you look at that beach, it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. But no Nigerians will step on that beach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to an African man. So he would tell you, say, no, we don't go there for fun. We go there to remind us what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because that to them is basically like a terror to us.
Mhm.
And then me coming to America and me learning this history of what happened, like someone that looked like me. This
Mhm.
is what happened. This is what I have to go through. This is the hoops I have to go through in order to even be considered as someone. Meanwhile, when I know that I'm in my country, oh, I'm poor, I can still run to my grandmother. I will be okay. But I'm here and I'm going through this hoop after hoop. And I'm around these people hoping that they will help me, hoping that they will support me because I want to be like them. I want to be like a Caucasian person. And I realize these people are not your friend. Because
how did you realize that?
oh, I would tell
And I'm
you.
gonna turn the mic
This
to
time,
Tyrone in a second, but
my story's a little long, but I will tell you. So when I was in,
just keep it short. Keep it short.
I will keep it short.
Because this is what I want to do, because I know I want to stay on subject, and you explained that, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I've given you a little liberty of a little bit more longer time, because you started talking about coming from Africa, coming into America with the idea that you wanted to connect.
Yeah.
And you're saying why you believe that a Pan-African shouldn't connect based upon what your experience and you learned. What is one of your experience that you've learned?
Yes, I will. One of my experiences actually, I will actually go to the professional line. I don't want to go back to the history, back to the line. I will go to the professional line. I was working with a coworker. I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. I was working with, actually, I ended up being a teacher mistakenly. I'm a graduate with bio degree.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated with a biology degree. I really had to struggle to graduate with a biology degree because I went to a Hall Caucasianite school. Okay. Predominantly Caucasianite South in the
Come
Southern
on,
area.
go on. Give me the story. Give me the story. Give me the story.
I'm gonna give you the story. Well, my story, my really opened my eyes story started with my professor, because I denied that we were not created for monkeys. I have proof. But back to the story of my professionalism, when I got into the field of becoming a teacher, I was working with a Caucasianite female, and we never really, I loved everybody. I'm a very friendly person. I love everyone. I don't care who you are, okay? And from there, I started realizing no matter how much I'm showing you love as my coworker, a lot of things she was doing behind my back was really, like nitpicking and reporting me to the supervisor for what I don't even know what's going on. This is a fact. I don't know what is going on. And then hearing from the other coworker saying the person that you love, this is how she's portraying you to be. But because they know who I am, they understand who I am, okay? And this is a highly a lot of African American population. Okay, we pay attention to each other. This is a lot of African American population with also a few Caucasian individuals there. They know who I am. They know the kind of person I am. And when you are reporting me to the people that already know who I am and the kind of person I am, they're gonna bring the news back to me. They're gonna tell me, this is what you're saying. I'm gonna keep her name to keep her privately so I don't put her business out there. This is what this individual is saying about you. But Miss K, you're saying you love this person, but she's giving us something else. She's showing us something else. Just to show you that no matter how much they show us their negative side, I will always portray her as someone good, as someone kind, as someone that I love. I will go far and beyond for. I said, my co-teacher, we work together. Why not? We're a team. That's what my head is. We're a team.
Got you.
I got you. You're
You.
not my team.
I got you. Okay.
I will stop it there. Yeah.
I understand why you feel the way you feel, and you say you had other instances.
I've had too many.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, no matter how much I try to say this person is good to me, this person is nice, the most I always somewhere reason always kick me in the butt with something different. Always showing me something about them. No offense, like I said, no offense to anybody. I don't say everybody are the same, because our people got out their own too. But so far, my worst experiences living in America has been with them, not even our own people, to be precise and honest. Yeah.
Peace and blessings, Kay. I appreciate you and your conversation.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All righty. Okay. All right, so we're gonna pass the mic on over to Tyrone McLean. You can unmute yourself there. The topic we have in today is Pan-African, and people are quite interesting to see what you would have to say. Typically, I'll keep the conversations between the community, but You're on mic. You're on mute. You're
Okay.
on mute. There you
Finally,
go.
I unmuted myself. Thank you, man. Look, it's an honor to meet you finally. I've seen many of your videos, like a lot of thousands of people have, and you're very informative. And so by luck, I was able to pull into what you're doing tonight. So great applause to you and all your efforts, and please keep up the good work. So my question has been for some time, I have a Facebook group, and we do some of the things that you do, except we try to channel it with other people. I've had quite a few Native Africans who look at me and say, "You're a white man." Now, at the age of 4 years of age, my father took me to meet my great grandmother who was born into slavery. And this woman who was born into slavery was on her deathbed. I had never seen her before. She was as black and beautiful as anyone I've seen in my life. It was up until a couple of years ago I began to see people with her skin complexion. But her presentation to me, how she presented herself at a point of death, I thought that she was a queen because my dad said she was born into slavery. And I thought slavery must have been something fantastic based upon the feeling I got meeting her. But I learned later in life what it was. So here I am presenting myself to you guys. And then you will say, "You're not melanated. You're not dark as I am." Am I or am I not dark? And if I am not dark, what are the differences that distinguish me from you or other people who might see me differently? I get challenged a lot, but I've become more disappointed with what I found out what it is to be melanated. And I know I'm getting a little bit off of your topic, but that's not the intent. When I go and look at stats where over $6 billion is spent for bleaching cream, wigs that we see that is circulating through Africa and America as well, $6 billion. What are people trying to do with bleaching their skin? Why would you bleach something that God made you to be? So and I don't want to get off your topic.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we want to stay on topic of this, right? Because I thought you was going to kind of parallel your grandma to the Pan-African could stand up and not be white, black.
Yeah.
You might got black and you go ahead.
Yeah. I don't see where if we have an understanding of who we are as individual, I have a broader understanding how to accept differences, not to reject them. If we reject differences, I think we are rejecting progress. Now, I think there are some things that we haven't learned from the white race. We have not. We continue to go into a vicious circle of repeating the same thing over and over. And what I'm trying to say, if we learn to understand how we've been manipulated through the colonization of Africa and the slavery in America, we would see the benefits of what the white man has plotted out for us. What are those benefits that I'm talking about?
Well, hold on a second, Tyrone. Hold on a second. You're saying white man as though that you are black.
How do you see me?
I'm just looking at your color. I'm asking the question. I mean, I'm hearing you saying you made reference as though the white man is.
I want to hear about the benefits he so-called gave us. He said,
Hold on a second, Marvin.
I got
I'm
you,
asking
Marvin.
the question. Are you referencing you're black?
I am what you see.
Okay.
And that comes from a black father and a black mother. But in my lineage are white Europeans.
Hold up. Your mom and dad is black, you said?
That is correct.
Your mom and dad is black. Okay.
That is correct.
Is that a biologically or is that adoptive or what?
It's no adoptive at all. It's biologically.
Okay. I mean, I know two black people have a white baby. I know that scientifically.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm not white from claiming myself to be white. I grew up in a black community, black parents, all of those attributes that you probably experienced yourself. I classify myself as being a black man, and that's who I am. But what I was saying about some of the benefits, I think that the white race, if we would have picked up on those things, we would not have gone into, for instance, and I'll use this example to make you really think deep into what I'm trying to present. If the Europeans had control of Africa and the Africans were in Europe, do you think the Africans would have come down in Africa and took control of the land and the resources the way
No,
that they have?
no,
Would the Africans come into Africa as it is and decide that this guy who was doing real good for his people, but the resources are there, so I'm going to take him out, be that he's murdered or whatever, and I'm going to supplant my own government in place? Do you think that the Europeans, if they were in Africa, would they allow a black image of Jesus to be promoted amongst their race if they were in Africa?
no.
This is kind of making you think a little bit about the differences. And to Marvin, your question about the benefits. Africa is still struggling today. In my opinion, Africa should have the highest middle class living conditions than anybody in the world based upon its natural resources. Based upon
It doesn't because of what? Why do you think they don't?
the mindset, the colonization, how they were colonized. They were led to believe something. They were manipulated. Even the animals in
By
Africa.
who? By who?
The Europeans, obviously. Those who came in.
Mhm.
Even if you look at the animals in Africa, when I say elephant, is that the natural name of that animal or lion that was given to the native Africans? I think the answer is no. You look at cities in Africa, look at Nigeria. Is that the name that was given by the native Nigerians, supposedly? The answer is no. So you look across the continent, the Europeans came in and they took control, and they still maintain control today. And
Okay,
you look at
Tyrone, hey man,
I'm getting off
okay.
your topic.
You're off my topic. I thought you was gonna go somewhere when you were making the parallel that your mom and dad, your aunt, your grandma, whoever is black,
Gotcha.
and being that your skin color is white, I thought you was gonna go ahead and say what a Pan-African man could possibly be, an activist or advocate, what have you. So, do you have anything to add to that subject matter?
I think you forgive me back on it because I have a litany of thoughts that I'm trying to share at the same time. I don't see issues when there are not issues that are there. If an individual love another person who is different than him or her in race, and that person they love is white, how could that disqualify you? How could that make you less? If in fact what you stand for and the person who is married to you understand what you stand for, I think he or she will support your efforts. Okay? I don't think it mutes your efforts or prevent you from being effective because you're married to a white woman or to a white man. And I don't think it's anyone's determination to decide whether or not that person is incapable of being what they are struggling and striving to be. I think anybody who's trying to promote the Pan-African lifestyle, the development of improving Africa and Africans and Black Americans, I salute them highly. I won't get in their way. They can have a whole family full of white people. I don't care about that. What I care about is what they're trying to achieve and whether or not what they achieve will help the bigger issues that are existing for generation after generation.
Let me ask you this. I hear you. Let me ask you this question right here, Tyrone. Do you think your life experiences over the years have been impacted by the color of your skin?
Of course, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, brother. You know, can I say this to you? Back in 1975, I got a position with one of the largest tire producing companies in the world at the time. And I was told I was the first black man hired in on that position. What happened to me, sadly, and not where I smiled about it, I got pissed. because I told the person who told me that, and I asked the question, are you telling me that I'm the only person that came along that was black that could qualify for the position? No, we're not saying that. So I didn't walk away with a robust feeling that I'm the first black to be in a position. I did not like that. I thought that was terrible, that other brilliant people, more brilliant than I was, did not get those positions. So have I seen issues in my life materialize? Many times. As you know, in America, you walk in the store, white people will follow you around. And even with my complexion, obviously, they can see what they see. So
what can they see? What do you
they
think
should see me. They should see me. Now, I will, and let me kind of make a little bit bigger point.
Well, I'm going to have to cut you short, Tyrone, because of the
Not a
time
problem.
and all that there. But I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you coming in, but I really want to stay on my topic at hand.
Beautiful. And listen, at some other time, I want to invite you to join something I'm working on. I would appreciate.
Well, I don't even want to go that route.
Okay, got it.
I'm not here for all that right there, but I appreciate you coming in.
Got it, brother. Be
All
good.
right.
Take care.
All right. You know, yeah, you know,
Brother Tyrone.
You know, I did a video one time, and I appreciate him calling in. And
that was interesting.
My thing is, I believe everybody. I don't have no problem with people sharing if they want to be on topic, but if sometimes that there are those who have intentions of pushing other things that really is not about what the whole subject matter is about. And Tyrone, what Tyrone was trying to do. He mentioned his book page up front, and then he wanted to end it with the project that he's doing. And so it's really about Tyrone coming on my platform, want to be interested to tie in with the conversation, which Tyrone didn't, or what Tyrone wanted to use my platform to push his agenda and all that. This is the issue I'm talking about, Tyrone. This is what y'all do. Tyrone, come on. We will use other people to get you will use other people to get what you want, and that was the whole gist of it. I'll go in and start with I got a Facebook thing, I got my title underneath, naming what the heck that I go into the continent of Africa, and then I'm going to end it with a big shebang to let everybody know what it is, promoting my product and yet acting as though I'm part of the subject matter, which
I didn't expect it out of him. He did it though.
He proved the point.
He did prove the point. He did.
That we're here only to be used for their benefit. That is it.
That's it.
Anyway,
really.
brother, what you got, Marvin? What you got?
I mean, well, on the subject you was talking about, you know, preaching and being Pan-Africanist and wanting to go that route, and then at the same time having a white girlfriend and things like that. And me personally, I just can't support it. You know, I've dated white girls, you know, practically half my whole life so far. I'm 29, but I've dated white girls. You know, I've been with them for long periods of time. The longest I've been with them was like 9-10 months. Little Canadian girl from up near Vermont. I lived up there and went to school up there, so I met her. And I've just noticed over time, they just, you know, it's just not the same. You know, the chemistry, the feel, the touch, is just everything. Even just the actions, just everything is not the same. And honestly, it's not in your best interest. No, let
me ask you this right here, because you're a young man, 29 years old. Because you talk about not having the connections and those type of things. Do you think that they understand you from where you come from?
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't really. You could tell them, and they'll listen. They'll sit down and they'll genuinely listen to you, and they'll tell you the honest truth. Because one thing, you know, I mean, white folk, they don't lie to you. They never lied to me, not one. You know, so you know a certain thing they
What?
won't.
Hold up now. Hold up now.
They put the truth in everything somewhere along the
Everybody
way.
lies.
Everybody lies though.
Everybody
But
lies.
see, you know, again, I've sat down. I've dated multiple white girls. You know, all different kinds. You know, from blonde to brown to to black hair. You know,
Have you dated sisters?
Yeah, I dated sisters too. I dated girls from Africa who had parents had moved here and brought them here. I dated girls that were African American girls who were African American like myself. You know, I'm born and raised in East Orange, New Jersey. So I'm from the hood. I've been around my sisters and things like that. But I had a lot of time with the white girls when I went up to Vermont and Canada and up there with the white girls. I had a lot of time with them. And
so to the subject matter.
Yeah.
So do you think then that because when you were dating could be considered to be a Pan-African man or an activist or advocate for black people and you dating white women?
Wait, so what you asking again?
Could you? Because I mean, you said you're dating. You're dating. So
could I? No. Just because how far I got now and me now in my life, and I plan on actually moving to Africa one day. I've come too far now, and I understand too much now. Of who we are to slip back down and right. I see them every day at my job. They looking good. They thick as ever too. You should see them, godly. But I know what's good for me now. Sugar's delicious, but I can't eat sugar every day. I have no teeth. So it's one of those things. You're constantly fighting with the thing. It's one of those lusts, I guess. Probably, the Bible talks about lust and different things. It's one of those things. Yakub did something. He was interesting.
Okay.
I don't know, brother.
You're 29 years old, and you've come to realize that you've overcome those areas where you are,
Yeah.
You're seeing who you are. You're walking into who you are.
That's funny you said that. Yeah, because I've been walking into who I am. Learning who I am, and learning that I should stick with my kind. It's not to be racist or nothing like that. I'm just proud of who I am. I just want to be with somebody else who looks like me, who's proud of who they are, and could have that understanding. Like we talked about. So if any ladies out there, I'm on Facebook. Arazul Ankianum Ampofo. I'm out here, single, looking for ladies who can go back to the diaspora and head back to Africa. Go black. I'll always be in contact with you too, brother, because I'm always looking to do things out there in the West. So I appreciate you having me on the show.
Appreciate you too, man. Appreciate your words, man, and all that there, man. Peace and blessings to you, man. And definitely, man, hey, keep doing what you're doing, man, and learning and growing into who you are.
I will. I'm young.
Know
so
who you are in the Most High. That's the key thing. Know who you are in the Most High.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, brother. Well, hey, appreciate you, man. Peace and blessings to you.
Yes, thank you, brother.
All right. Okay. Family, I wanted to do this here as a minute, topic, just to kind of get a feel of what everybody thinks and all that right there, because I know today we have a lot of people pushed up in front who are claiming they're doing right. There are those who want you to get your vote and make you feel like they're going to be pressing the hard issues of what's going on in Black community and make things straight and make things right. And yet they got another race, somebody on their shoulders. And yet it seems as though that time and time again, we're just put aside with what the issues that need to be dealt with in this country. And, how can you be for people when your heart is turned towards another group of people? There again, I'll say this right here as a disclaimer. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not racist, if you will, against anybody. My thing is that I have issues with those brothers and sisters out there who claim they're for a people or a unification, but you're unified with someone else. I say stop it, go to the back of the line and let somebody else head those efforts. You know, let me say this too right here, because, you know, I appreciate Tyrone coming in and him, you know, sharing, just giving me just another understanding that, you know, he knows too, he rides off of his color of his skin. If he is a black man, he said he is, but I mean, I don't even know whether that's true or not, because, you know, today I can identify being white if I want to. I can identify being a woman if I want to. This is where America's at. But I do know also, and I didn't ask him the question, I'm quite sure he rode his white skin to his benefit in various areas and chapters of his life. We can't get away from that. And there's no stopping that system that is in place to continue to, you know, put blind eyes to those who are not like the majority of the people here in this country. And yet I still believe that there are people like myself and so many others out here. You know, how do you be a voice for people? And I think it's doing what we do now. And as to continue to have the conversation, you know, you know, the reparations is a thing today that is talked about. And I like to use the words restitution. And that's the restoring a people where they should be from where you took from them. And what I like what I like to use is that, you know, I'm a disabled veteran, served in the military for this American country for 20 years. And just like our sister Kay, it has been over my 57 years. I've had incidents and instances after instances or incidents over my years dealing with those who are, you know, the majority here in this country. And, you know, there was a time that I felt as though that I might have had hate in my heart, but I had to come to a place to where the Most High had to show me there's no need for hate. You just don't understand. And when you get to a place of understanding someone or a group or a way of life, hate will go away. Then you know how to deal with the situation you're in. And once I got to a place to understand how people are, I realized that, you know what? Even those white people who have a care for other people don't even realize themselves how they play a part in the system of what has been laid out to be a disadvantage for others to enjoy liberties and freedom by the pushing, promoting of these racist things in place that a lot of them don't even know the game that's played, you know. And what I mean by that is, you know, you're the woman or man who works at a building, a business, an institution, a corporation who has to comply to policies and procedures that are put in place that might be there that are qualifiers or disqualifiers for certain people or groups or bad credit or incomes, and you don't even know. And you just go along with the program, shuffling papers, pushing these so-called obstacles along the way that they who had these places had nothing but ill will intentions to keep people in places that they just wanted them not to advance. And so I got to a place that I don't have to hate anybody. I understand. And now when that I understand, I know how to navigate. And I believe Tyrone, not to pick on him at all, and I hope that he goes back and watches this video, because I did a video when I was in Africa and there was a white man who wanted to do a collaboration with me, and I didn't ever responded. And then he shot me an email, and then as though that I should have responded to him. But I did a video stating this case, and he knew I was talking about him. And my whole thing was, I don't have to do a collaboration with you, but I already understand that because I am ahead of the game than where he is at that time, that he is needing subscribers. And what better way to leech on to somebody who's made headway, to do a collaboration, gather some of their subscribers so that they can kind of follow him, and then he can go on about his business. Well, I already understand, Tyrone. I already understand. And you played that card tonight, and I'm going to call you out on it, and you know it. You know, for those who don't understand what I'm talking about, you just go back and watch Tyrone. You know, the white gentleman, he says he's black, but he played the game, and I knew the game would come because I'm not stupid. I'm a very smart man. But to put out there that you got a Facebook group and you had your title underneath and then you wanted to share some information, this is exactly what so many of us talk about. And when we understand the mindset, how people operate, how could you, in your rightful man as a man of who's black, can go promote or be an advocate for, an activist for, screaming that the white system is wrong, screaming the white system ain't right, the race, the systematic racisms and the inequalities and all of these things, when the woman or man on your shoulders is the very person that you are screaming is doing foul against your own. I already understand the game. I already knew. I was interesting to see, and he had a chance to prove he had no other agenda but to talk about the subject matter at hand. But this is what we talk about time and time again. They only want to come in and take, push, promote their own agendas. And he proved it. Wasn't me who said it or did it. He just did it himself. So family, great topic, and I appreciate everybody who came in today. And you know, my thing is that I hope that each and every one of you all live a prosperous life and be woke, be aware of your surroundings, because your adversary is seeking whom he or she may devour, to kill, steal, or destroy the very thing that you may wholesomely want or desire to have. So I say, keep your eyes on the prize, and that's the Most High. Good night, everybody, and I'll check y'all out later.